We lit. What's good with y'all, man? Welcome to Ready Tape. Y'all know what it is. Good morning, nation. It's been a while, but we got plenty to talk about. We're going to talk about it in this one, man. Got a few details of this trade going down. I'm going to talk about the cap space of both teams, the Saints and the Raiders. Man, but it's been a while since I've been live, so I'm going to give it a second, see who pulls up, see if we can get some entertainment going here in a second. And I'm going to go ahead and share the screen too as well. Let me know who's in the building, man. Drop the comment, hit the like button. Appreciate y'all being here. I'll go ahead and share this screen real quick because I do want to talk about the fact that Jeremy Fowler this morning put out a tweet releasing some information saying that the Raiders do have an idea of what compensation they do want to get for Derek Carr and what a team could potentially be giving up, man. And I'm excited. I'm excited. If you ain't fired up at this point of the offseason, talking about Derek Carr finally finding a trade partner, I don't know what's going to get you fired up. Maybe an Aaron Rodgers trade. We'll talk about it here soon, man. Appreciate everybody pulling up. I see our guy Diego in the building. Let me go ahead and share this screen real quick, though. Add to the stream. Make sure it's good. Boom, boom. Good to go. Good to go. Appreciate everybody in the building, man. We see our boy Diego in here. He said, Ray, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up, Diego. You know what it is. You know what it is. Blazing Raider. What's good with you, bud? What's good with you, man? What's the value? Dave Maxfield, what's good with it, man? He says, what's the value? So let's go ahead and hop straight into it, man, because this is going to be short and sweet live. Okay, probably 30 minutes, but we're going to make this a blast because we want to talk about this, we want to talk about this Derek Carr stuff, And like I said, I brought it up on the screen. Jeremy Fowler dropping this morning the bomb on us, Raider fans. And he says, this was yesterday afternoon. Says themes emerged from talks with teams on Derek Carr. Inquiring teams want to rework a deal, which they believe Carr probably won't do. Now, this is the first thing I wanted to touch on, y'all. He comes out saying that inquiring teams want to rework a deal with Derek Carr, meaning restructure his contract because we know he's going to have that $40 million cap hit. And when you talk about a team like the Saints, they're already negative 60 in the tank, right? Let's go ahead and look at those numbers real quick because they're negative 60 in the tank. And I was looking at this just here a second ago. And you can see right here, you can see the big numbers in red, 6-0. And that's not looking pretty for the Saints, man. So I'm still trying to figure out how they're going to be able to work this deal when it comes to Derek Carr, because you can see team cap space is negative $60 million. So that means the Saints have to get out of $60 million in the hole when it comes to their cap space. Plus, they want to add on a guy that's worth a cap hit of around $30 to $40 million. Oof, it's going to be 30 because we're going to take on 5, I believe. So that's an extra 30. So they'll almost be $100 million in dead cap. Now let's go ahead and just get over this Marshawn Lattimore trade talk, because not saying that it will not happen, but I just want to talk about the Marshawn Lattimore contract, okay? Because obviously we can see here his base salary is around 15, but we go straight to the number that matters, and that's the cap number. The cap number is what matters, and that's 22.5. So you're looking at 22.5 with 15 guaranteed, and he has a dead cap of $20 million. So they lose $20 million if they move on from Marshawn Lattimore. So I don't know if that's going to actually happen. That one right there is going to be a very tricky situation. Now, ultimately, I do believe if we get this trade off, we'll end up paying for some of Carr's cap in order to make the trade happen. But I'm sure you guys will let me know down in the comments. I'm sure you guys will let me know. Let me get back to the chat real quick, though, man. Shout out to our guy, Manuel in the building. What's good with you, man? Digi Prez? Yes, sir. What's good with it, folks? Yeah, I'm back in the building, man. I had to go live, man, because it's been a while. It's been a while. Halo Raider, appreciate you being here with us. Neek 5 was good with it. 5. You know what it is. Raider Jim in the building. The Nation Nightmare himself. You know. Let me scroll down real quick, though, man. 80s baby was finally able to catch a live show, Raiders. Much love, Ray. Appreciate you pulling up, dog. If y'all can, make sure to hit that like button, man. Make sure to hit that like button. Young DB94 says, just cut and avoid the $40 million hit. Now, that's the thing, man. We can definitely still do that. That's the last resort, in my opinion. The last resort is cutting Derek Carr and not getting anything. Because even if we could trade him for a 7th-round pick, let's say, right? Even if we could trade him for a 7th-round pick, you would take that. You would take that compensation because whether you cut him or trade him, that $5 million that we have to cover is going to be there regardless, right? So if you're going to cut him, you might as well get what you can. And I'm sure some team out there is willing to give up a pick, a pick, whatever that pick is, for Derek Carr. And I think that's what we're looking at right now. Tavio in the building, was good with you, man? Appreciate you pulling up. Third round pick, Mr. Nick says, and that's what it is. Good morning, my brother ONT6. Appreciate you being here with us. Nigerian Prince was good with it, mob. Yeah. Saints easily make the money. They were $70 million the whole last season. They just convert contracts into signing bonuses, 100% guaranteed. There's some magicians over there, man. They do be working that cap space a lot, especially with the Saints, because I believe it's actually not only last year, but it was the 2 years. I think it's the last 3 years they've been in the hole, over 40 million in the hole every single season, especially since they lost Drew Brees, because they're still paying Drew Brees from what I understand. So it's the simple fact that, yes, they can move some numbers around, but you're also adding more numbers to the equation when you start to talk about Derek Carr being on the Saints. But I did want to see if we could find the dead cap space on this football team. But it doesn't say here. It doesn't say here. No Drew Brees at all. I thought Drew Brees was still on their books, but maybe he fell off after this season. Or last season, he may have fell off. But that's neither here nor there. Shout out to our guy, Digital Prez. Appreciate it, dog. Yes, sir. Make sure y'all hit that sub button, hit that like button, man, if y'all just pulling up. Alex in the building. Hola. ¿Qué pasó? What are you doing, man? What are you doing, man? Shout out to our guy, Alex. LV Maximus in the building. Good morning, nation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, let's go ahead and move on to this tweet real quick. Let's go ahead and keep digging because, like I said, he put a little bit more information on this one. And he was saying the team wants to restructure, but Carr probably won't do it. So that's going to be an interesting situation now we're going to have to keep an eye on, very close eye on. But let's go ahead and move on to the second dash on this. And Raiders asking price modest. One NFL source said third round pick could get it done. Now, the third round pick, are you guys happy with that? You guys let me know down in the chat. Are you guys happy with a third round pick for Derek Carr? And I'm going to give you guys my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what's happening. I don't know every single detail. But if we were going to get a third round pick for Derek Carr and we had to pay some of his contract, I wouldn't want to do that. I'd rather just cut him. Honestly, I'm not going to pay for a third round pick, especially a premium, depending on how much we would have to pay in order for Carr to go to the Saints in order to help them with the cap space. Now, if we're just saying we send Carr for a third round pick straight up, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm not really tripping if we don't get a first or a second. If we just get a third, that would be lovely because we do free up that cap space. And then we get that extra draft pick, which we could easily go get some more defensive players, which y'all know I want defense. Y'all know I'm not tripping on quarterback like that. I'm not even tripping off getting Rodgers, bro. I'm not tripping off any quarterback. I want defense. And that's just where I'm at with it. You feel me? That's just where I'm at with it. Let me see who's in the building, though. Anthony Estrada, what's good? Salute to our guy. Appreciate you being here, man. Kevin Lurker in the building. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, big dog. Top of the line merch. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all go check out Redemption Brand. Redemption Brand, the hottest on the market. I mean, it is what it is, but I appreciate it because it's you guys that are making it that way. Shout out to our guy, Diego. Thank you very much, man. Nigerian Prince says, I prefer a second, but we got to take what we can get. And this is kind of my idea, right? You got to take what you can get, like you said. If there's a timeline, we put ourselves in a corner by benching him the last two games. There's a timeline, which is the February 15th, if I'm not mistaken. The guaranteed money kicks in, and people know that we could cut him and they could get him on the free agent market. I think there's going to be not going to be a lot of leverage for us in that matter. But at the same time, we do have leverage because we do have a quarterback that's on the market that we could trade. So that's where that third round pick comes into play. So, of course, we would want to get a first or a second. But if we can get a third, we're going to get a third, man. Call it what you want. Call it what you want. Striker X, he says, does that mean silenced, banned, or what is that? Does that mean silenced, banned, or what is that? I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to, man. Not 100% sure what you were referring to. Trade Carr and a second to move up in the first round. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. The Saints would probably not want to move in near their first rounds. Now, the thing is, they just got another one from the Broncos for trading Sean Payton. So That, and I believe that was what the 20 what pick was that? Which pick was that? It was like a high first round pick. Excuse me. I should say a low first round pick. It was like 25th or worse in the first round, which I would love to get that. So if we were able to package up Carr with another draft pick and then move in a position in the first round, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. We definitely got to make a play, man. We definitely got to make a play. Say the less, to say the least. Shout out to our guy Jag. You know what I mean? One of one in the building. Appreciate you being out here, man. He said softest hoodies in the game. You know what it is, man. A little quality over quantity, but it is what it is. Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate it, Jag. Tuning in. Future doctor in the building, by the way, if y'all ain't know. This dude Jag gonna be a doctor. I don't know if he's gonna be a good one, but he's gonna be a doctor. No, I'm playing, man. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you pulling up on us. Joseph in the building says we need a defensive miracle. And this is I mean, we're gonna start talking about the defense, because if we do, I'm gonna go on a tangent. You feel me? If we start talking about the defense, I'm gonna end up on a tangent, because y'all know how I am, man. Y'all know how I am. I want that defense stacked up. Let's go ahead and move on to the second part, or this third and final part of this bulletin Jeremy Fowler had posted for us, just to take a quick look at. He says New Orleans believed to be the only team engaged to extend a visit as of now. So this right here, I feel like, is the most important thing out of all of this. This is the most important thing. Now, some people will say, oh, well, we find out what the trade compensation could be. That could be the most important. I don't think so. I think the fact that the only team, you're telling me there's only one team that can engage in these in these trade talks with Derek Carr that he can go visit, that's brutal. I'm not gonna lie, that's brutal. We only have a week left in time for Derek Carr to be traded, and you're telling me there's only one team that he's been able to go meet, and he has to go fly to New Orleans to go meet this team. This is going to be a tough tough pill to swallow, because it seems like there's not a lot of teams like we initially thought. We had the Texans, we had the Carolina Panthers, we had the Commanders, we had the Jets. I'm sure I'm missing a team out there, but you talk about there's only one team that he's been able to go fly and meet out of this whole time. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens this next week, though. There's a lot of time. A week is a lot of time, to say the least. But at the same time, we're going to see what happens. Dave Maxwell says a 29th pick. And that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was a 29th, but at the same time, I was confused, because I'm like, 29th pick? Where the hell? How you get the 29th pick? You got to be in the NFC Championship to get 29th pick. But though that pick was traded so many times, you know what I mean? It's funneled through. That first round pick that the Saints got is a hoe. That thing has been ran through, been passed around the whole damn league. So, I mean, I ain't mad at it. I'll take it. I ain't mad at it. Not at all. Paul Gaines in the building said, do you think deepens? That boy dropping a gem. I don't even know what that means. Honestly, I honestly don't even know what that means. But I do want to get back to this cap space real quick. Okay? Do want to get this cap space real quick. And then when I talk about cap space, I'm talking about the Raiders cap space. I want to talk about the fact that we're looking at dead cap money. I want you guys to look over here. Dead money. Okay? Not all money is good money. And this is an example of it, because we're looking at dead money right now. And you think about it, $24 million in dead money when you talk about the Raiders. You got $10 million sold up in Corey Littleton. You got another $5 million in Carl Nassib, another $5 million in Kenyon Drake, and then between Gillespie, John Simpson, and Alex Leatherwood, that's another $4 million. And that's insane if you guys think about it, because that's a whole other player. We could have signed Roquan Smith and gave him this dead money. That's the kind of caliber of player you would be paying with all of this dead money. Devontae Adams is another example. So when you talk about this dead money, we got to figure out how we're going to cook our books, or at least shake them up a bit to where we could free up some money ourselves. But on the good note, on the good side of everything, right now it says the team cap space is at around 18, 19 mil, right? But we know once we get rid of Carr, we're going to have a 30 mil savings. That will bump this up to nearly, let's say 50 right there. So we're sitting at about 50. Once we trade Carr, we're sitting at about 50 mil in cap space. Now, one thing I want to reiterate, and I talked about this throughout the entire season. This is why I kind of was so critical of the offense rather than the defense, is that when you look at this cap number, right? The offense currently has 117 mil invested into it. That's how much the offense has invested into it. When you look at the defense, it's at 65. Now, if you add up 65 and 65, that comes to 130. So it's nearly half of what we put into the offense. And this is why I was so critical of the offense. I talked about this throughout the entire season. So going into this season, I think we need to have a mentality of picking and choosing what we want to do. And ultimately, I believe what we need to do is we need to build this defense. And yes, we may trade Carr and we're going to save 30 million, but even with that 30 million, we're still paying the offense more, even if you take Carr off the books. And I think that says a lot. You mean to tell me you could take a franchise quarterback off the books and you're still paying the offense more than your defense? And you have fans blaming the defense for not being good. So to me, I think that's just this shows a lot that we need to start converting some of that cash flow and we need to start converting some of that attention to the defense because they need it. They really do. They need it. At the end of the day, but we got over 170 in the building, man. I appreciate y'all being here. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button, y'all. Let's get those likes up. We need at least over 100 likes. If we got that, we got that. I appreciate y'all because, you know what I mean? It's free to hit that like button. But at the end of the day, y'all the ones that get this shit popping, man. So I appreciate y'all being out here. Let me scroll down real quick and catch up and see some of these comments. The Last Don, my guy looked like he got a profile pictures out of 2002 with the headband and the cornrows on. Shout out to you, man. He says he knows it himself. That's why he don't want to rework his deal. Dude is the future backup quarterback. Carr sucks. I'm not even going to lie to you. I wouldn't go that hard on Derek Carr, but at the end of the day, I do believe this is the case. I definitely believe this is the case that Derek Carr is not going to want to hit the free agent market because he knows when he redoes the deal, he's not going to get paid as much. He's not going to go out there and get $30 million a year, especially to start out. It's not going to happen. Usually the way the contracts works, if Carr were to hit free agency, he were to go do a deal, that deal would probably be 3 to 4 year deal worth, let's say $30 million a year. But his first year, the cap hit won't be 30. The first cap hit will probably be 15 or 20. Then the next one will probably be 20, 25. And then those last 2 years would be like 35, 40. So that's why Carr wouldn't want to rework his deal because he'll be getting paid what he was when his first year after his rookie deal. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that case. Carr thought he was a highly respected talent. He did. I mean, he got to look in the mirror. And I think this is a huge part of him being on this football team is that he didn't take enough credibility when it was a bad play or he can't take the criticism because he probably thinks he's better than what he really is. And that's probably because he's been a Raiders quarterback for so long. Honestly, Raider Wolf in the building. Appreciate you, man. Raider Wolf became a YouTube member. Thank you. This is the best way to support the channel, y'all. So if anybody wants to become a member, please go hit that join button, become a member of the channel. And best believe, man, it's going to be going down soon because I got a bunch of college film. And we're going to be breaking down players versus, okay, so it's going to be a Christian Gonzalez versus a Witherspoon type deal. And we're going to be doing it all on the members only, okay? This is only going to be for the members only. I maybe do some film studies just for the general page, of course, but there's going to be some exclusive film studies just for the members only, man. And I can't wait to start doing that. But appreciate you, Raider Wolf, for becoming a member. Best way to support the channel. Thanks, big dog. Thank you. Raider Wolf says, yeah, I even coined a new slogan. What's the slogan? It is what it is, baby. Hey, I ain't mad at that. It is what it is. You got to roll with the punches, man. You know what I mean? You got to roll with the punches. Shout out to Hollywood, Texas. He says, I'm a Carr fan, but I'm ready for this saga to be over. And I think this is a lot of Raider fans at the end of the day. Nobody wants to continue going down this path of craziness because, let's see, honestly, the true definition of being crazy or being whatever you want to call it is doing the same thing and expecting something different. And I believe that having Derek Carr as our quarterback again next year would just be going down the same freaking path that we've been going down the last 9 years. Okay. So I'm ready to move on, just like you, Hollywood. I was a big Carr fan last year. Going into this past season, I was very critical, and I said in the all last off season, I was saying I was going to be critical of Carr on this offense because of what we invested into it. That's why I kind of, flipped that coin. I kind of gave the cold shoulder. Ryan Brooks, shout out to you, man. Reason why Carr wasn't the problem, it was the defense from the start. I've said this. Ryan Brooks. So we can get into this dialogue, but I don't think I am. But one thing I will say is that I agree with you. I agree that the defense was not good enough for us to win games, but I believe that the offense also wasn't good enough for us to win games because of the value that we have in it. Now, I just showed you guys the cap space. I showed y'all the cap space. 117 mil allocated to the offense versus 60 mil allocated to the defense. Yet here we are blaming the defense. Now, if I were to give you Ryan Brooks, I'm talking to you, Ryan, and this is not singling you out or anything. This is just going on some dialogue just to kind of base some logic from where I'm coming from, right? If I were to give you 60 mil and I said, Ryan, you go build a defense with 60 mil, and then I were to say, well, then I'm going to get 120 mil to go build an offense. Your defense needs to be just as good as my offense is going to be. You would say that's unfair. You would say that doesn't make any freaking sense. You know what I mean? You would probably say, no, you give me 90 and you take 90, and let's see who can build the better side of the ball. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. Not only that, I would also say, I'm going to get 4 draft picks, the top 4 draft picks. I'm going to take the top 4 draft picks, and I'm going to get 120 mil, and you're going to get the last 3 draft picks in the draft, and you only get 60 mil to build your defense. Now, some people don't put it in that perspective, but I will, because that's ultimately what happened. We used the first and second round on Devontae Adams, plus we paid all those players on the offense. So not only did you put 120 million into the offense, you used your first and second round pick when you knew your defense was trash and needed help. But you trade a first and second for a receiver. How does that help your defense? That's all I want to know. Where's the logic in that? How does trading for a receiver help your defense? So, you can even move further. And like I said, I get picks 1 through 4 for the offense. Now we draft a lineman with our 3rd. And then with our 4th round pick, we draft a running back. So with the top 4 picks, we went offense, and then we used most of our. So I've said this a million times. So this is why I don't blame the defense. Now, if we were to go out there and spend 120 mil on the defense, we sent the first and the second for Roquan Smith and DeForest Buckner, and we paid both of them, and the defense sucked, then it would be like, hold up, we got to change something. But we didn't do that, guys. We didn't. That would be the equivalent. This is just me, but I'd rather have DeForest Buckner or Roquan Smith with Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, Nate Hobbs, Trayvon Merrick, Perriman, Rocky Sin, all those guys. I think Buckner and Roquan Smith on this team would flip this defense around. And if you disagree, you disagree. But we don't do those kind of things, right? We only trade for receivers and offensive players, it seems like. But it is what it is. It's neither here or what it. Like our guy Raider Wolf says, it is what it is, baby. Okay, it is what it is. Let me scroll down and catch up to the chat, though, real quick, man. I am a little bit behind. Went on a small dialogue. Appreciate y'all being here. We're already 220 deep, man. Y'all the greatest. Y'all are the greatest, man. And if y'all can, hit that like button to see if we can get up to 200 likes, y'all. Would love to see 200 likes. That's the goal right now. We got over 200 people. Let's make it happen, man. Let's make it happen. Let me see what everybody in the comment section is saying, though, because we gotta see what the Raider Nation is talking about, man. We got William Merchant in the building, long-time subscriber, long-time Raider. Shout out to you, Will. Appreciate you being here with us. He says, new off-season rule. For every offensive player added, 2 defense players need to be added. Players cut or not re-signed or the opposite formula. Okay. I like that. I like that rule. I would even take it a step further and say the only player that we should get on offense is the quarterback. And outside of that, it's all defense. I wouldn't even say that. I honestly, I agree with that rule 100%, but I just think, man, y'all might not like me for this one, but I don't even want a quarterback. I don't even want a quarterback this season. I want all defense. I'm talking all defense. I want to use our picks on defense. I want to use our cap space on defense. So then we can actually see what we can build. And then go into this season and look at the team. Take a step back and say, okay, let's see what we can do with this team right here. We built our defense. We used our picks on defense. We used our cap space on defense. We brought in a lot of good players. Let's go see what they do. Now, if that defense performs well, I would only assume that we would win a lot of games. That's what I would think. If we had a good defense, even with getting a quarterback like A-Rod, and we only had a Stidham, but we had Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Waller, all these players, I think we would still do good. Hear me out. I think we would still do good. But that's besides the point, right? Because what I would like to do is this season, this offseason, all defense, and then next year, you go freaking all out for your damn quarterback. Why not do that? Why do we have to think, oh, we have to fix everything in this one offseason? And I talked about this throughout this season. I talked about it throughout this season a whole bunch. Why do we have this mentality that we're going to fix everything this one offseason? Successful teams don't do that, guys. I'm talking to y'all, nation. Successful teams do not do that. Think about this. A lot of times teams will go all out for their quarterback because they have a team already set up in place to be successful, right? That's when you take a shot. So an example would be the Broncos. And it's probably not the greatest because Russell Wilson didn't work out for them. Russell Wilson just fell off, whatever the case may be. But the Broncos were set up to be successful. They had a good defense. They had weapons on the offense. Then they went all out for their quarterback. We could take it a step further and talk about the Rams. The Rams, the same situation. They got a defense. They got weapons on offense. They just had Jared Goff, and they had to go trade for a guy in Matthew Stafford, and they won the Super Bowl. You talk about the 49ers. They already have their defense set up. They got Deebo Samuel. They got George Kittle. They got a good O-line. They go all out to trade for their quarterback. So this is just kind of what I'm saying is that we need to first solve one problem, which is the defense, and then solve the other problem, which is the quarterback. And we could do that next year by sending our next 2 first rounds to move up to get our quarterback. Something of the sort. That's just kind of how I see it, man. It's honestly just how I see it. Jose Ortega in the building says, what's up, Ray? 916 Bean team in the house. Where you been, bro? Appreciate you pulling up on us, Jose. Man, I've been out here, man. I've been out here. No cap. I've been working. I'll be posting my videos, but I haven't gone live a lot lately, which I'm starting to kick up once again. As y'all can see, I'm live right now. But we're going to start getting that ball rolling, especially with draft season around the way, because we got to get this draft talk on the way. Excuse me. I got to get this draft talk on the way. I got my cornerbacks. Already did my film studies, or not my film studies. Already did my film watching on the cornerbacks. I did a lot of film study on defensive linemen as well. Watched some safeties. I've been doing a lot of defense. I haven't watched any linebackers yet. I did watch Cam Jones out of Indiana just a little bit, but he ended up getting hurt. But I do need to finish my linebackers, but we still have like 2 months to the draft. So stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned. I'm getting my knowledge up on this draft real fast. Let me scroll down real quick and catch up because we got a super chat in the building. Appreciate you, dog. If anybody wants to drop a super, it's how to get your comment read no matter what. And it supports the channel, man. You know what I mean? I'll be putting in the time, putting in the work, trying to put out this content. So I appreciate it. Shout out to A-Rod pulling up, longtime subscriber as well. He says the best and the cheapest option is to draft properly. We need a starter and another quarterback, O-line starters. If they do move on from James and everything on defense, that's a mouthful right there. He says we need a starter and another quarterback. Okay. So when you say we need a starter, are you talking about a starting quarterback or what do you mean by starter? Just to clarify, this is a super, so I want to clarify and answer what you're saying, or at least give a heartfelt response. O-line starters, if they do move on from James, I don't think we're going to move on from James. Could we? Yes. But I feel as if he performed just as good as the next man could. I feel like we could have better guards than we would look at center. And then everything on defense. Yes, everything on defense. This is where that I feel like it's a catch-22, right? I don't want us to fake ourselves out. It's kind of, I've been saying this, right? You're not going to solve everything in one offseason. It's just not going to happen unless you trade future first round picks. You're not going to, everything's not going to happen right now, this instant. I don't think we're going to fix our defense right now, this instant, unless we make those right moves, right? Deron Payne, get him at D tackle, throw him in there. Have him with those two young guys that we got in Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell Jr. with Deron Payne, Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, Malcolm Coons. I mean, that sounds crazy. Just get Deron Payne at the end of the day. And then you talk about linebacker help that we really need desperately. Levante David is a guy that I've always liked. He's a little bit older, though. So I don't know if I want an older linebacker. I wish we would invest into a true linebacker, into a real linebacker. We should have got Devin White instead of Cleveland Farrell years ago, but we know how that cookie crumbled. So I agree with what you're saying, man. I agree with what you're saying. I would take a step back and say we need to focus on one problem at a time, because when you start focusing on too many things, that's when you draft for need instead of the best available talent. That's how you start getting free agents that are older and paying them Corey Littleton contracts or LaMarcus Joyner contracts or Chandler Jones contracts, right? I want young guys that are proven NFL talent, like a Roquan Smith we should have traded for. Hindsight's a mother effer, man. It is what it is. Eric Rader says exactly, Ray. Keep Stidham and D up. People don't want to do that, but I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I really am. I really am. I don't think this is a one-year turnover process. I think if we want to have a good dynasty, if we want a dynasty, and if we want longevity, you have to take it one step at a time. You really do. You really do, man. At the end of the day. Raider room in the building because no one wants to suck to get a high draft pick for our quarterback next year unless we trade up to get our guy. And this is what I'm saying, though. You build your defense, you're probably not going to suck that bad. We've sucked in the past because we had no defense. Like, we literally had no defense. We'll have a mediocre subpar offense, and we could have a really good defense, and we still get further than most teams because this is a good formula to have. On the offense side of the ball, it's going to be hard for us not to score points, in my opinion. Yes, we did get blown out by the Saints, and we scored 0. I don't know what the hell that was about. But at the end of the day, I believe this offense with Josh Jacobs, with Devontae Adams and Waller, regardless who's at quarterback, we should be able to score some points. I mean, Jacobs hit a 90-yard run against Seattle. He's a premier back. He's a premier back, and he's going to be able to eat himself. So without even thinking of, okay, we need a pass-first mentality, no, not really, because we could have a good defense and a good running game and then go get your quarterback. Oh, man. Oof. It'd be crazy. Plus you kind of like hold over a little cap, you know what I mean? So then you could re-sign Jacobs after that tag. I mean, call it what you want, man. Call it what you want. Raider Wolf says, hell yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I would be down with that all defense. I would love to, man. That's my dream, is to have a good defense. That's all I'm saying. Boogie, I was born in Oakland and raised in the Bay. Fun fact for you. Y'all going at it, man? Y'all got to go at it, huh? Got to lay a foundation. And this is Raider Biggs. You hear what I'm saying, Biggs? Because the way I kind of see it is, if I get a rookie quarterback, right? If I get a rookie quarterback, I want him to come into a situation to where everything's already set up. Why would you bring in a rookie quarterback and bring him in a situation? It's the same situation that Derek Carr was in. I'll wait. Now, Derek Carr's not the best. Derek Carr's not going to go out there and beat out Mahomes or anything. But Derek Carr can get in the shootout. And I agree that if the defense was good enough, Derek Carr and the Raiders would have won more games. But at the same time, Derek Carr just isn't that quarterback that's going to get us over that hump. So you go ahead and let him go. You free up that cap space. You move forward and you fix your defense. Now you go into this next season with a fixed defense. You see how good it is. You see how good the offense is. You can even use this to build up your O-line as well. Then you go get your quarterback. Send your first-round pick. Send your 2025 first-round pick with a third and a second-round pick, and go get Caleb Williams or go get whatever quarterback you want to go get. You feel me? And then you go maneuver like that. But I don't – it's I feel like the fact that our regime wants to save their ass is going to end up putting us in a hole. And ultimately, what I mean is you have Josh McDaniels and Dave Z. They didn't have a great season last year. So now they have to do something in order to save their ass and make them seem. And basically, they got to win games, right? They got to win games. And so going to get an Aaron Rodgers, that would help them win games. That would help them buy time. And a lot of this shit is buying time for the present regime. And the way John Gruden did it last time when he came in to build up his team, he kind of did it the way I'm talking about, but he fucked up trading Khalil Mack. I'll say that straight up. He screwed that up. And that's where his number one problem went, in my opinion. I think that's where his number one, where he went wrong ultimately. But it is what it is. AJ Simpson, what's good with you, man? Appreciate you pulling up. Long time subscriber. I know you, brother. Appreciate you being out here with us this morning. And if you're on the East Coast, I know what time it is. I know y'all 3 hours ahead. It's what time is it out there? What time is it out there? 11. So what is it? 2 o'clock out there? Something like that. Let me see our guy real quick. Let me catch up. But then on the other hand, there are going to be better quarterbacks next season. So I think you're right. I mean, I don't know the projections of the quarterbacks for next season. I know about Caleb Williams, Wolf. I know about that for sure. There may be some more quarterbacks that are coming out. But at the end of the day, man, I just believe regardless, you got to focus on one thing at a time. And I believe we got to focus on the defense, build this defense. Because think of it like this also. I don't know if Mac Jones is that good. Right? Well, I got to get this in focus. I don't know if Mac Jones is that good. And Josh McDaniels had Mac Jones his rookie season and was able to do some things, right? And the weapons on the Patriots offense aren't that great. Like they have Mac Jones, and I don't even know who they wide receivers really were. It sure wasn't Devontae Adams. Their running back wasn't Josh Jacobs. They didn't have a Hunter Renfrow or Darren Waller. So when you talk about Josh McDaniels with Mac Jones, couldn't we easily do something with a similar quarterback like Mac? I wouldn't have taken Mac Jones in the first round. He wasn't a first-round pick to me. I don't think Mac Jones is that good. So my point is, couldn't we get a quarterback that's just like Mac Jones that's not that good? That's just my opinion. And have them go out there and play for the Raiders while we build the defense, then go get your quarterback. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? I'm not saying trade for Mac Jones. I'm saying that Mac Jones isn't that good. And basically, we could have a guy that's not that good at quarterback and still win games. Jerry West says, I don't know what the F you were watching. Oh, he's talking to somebody else. Y'all going back and forth in the comments. I love to see it, man. I love the energy. I love the passion, y'all. Raider Reaper says, Christian Gonzalez, cornerback at number 7, fix our biggest hole. Raider Reaper, I agree and disagree with this super chat, man. Because one, I say Christian Gonzalez is my number 1 corner. And now I'm gonna give y'all a sneak peek of my top. I'll give y'all my top 3 corners, okay? I'll give y'all my top 3 corners. Right now, I got Gonzo. I call Christian Gonzalez Gonzo, okay? So if y'all ever hear me say Gonzo, I'm talking about the cornerback Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. And Gonzo, that's my number 1 corner. The way he's able to flip his hips, how fluid he is, this dude turns his hips. And it's like I've never seen before, bro. And I played, and I got to keep this thing in focus. I might have to change the settings on this, but I used to play corner, right? I used to play corner back in high school. I didn't play college football. No, I was in the streets, man. And then I went to the Army. I got to do what I got to do. But regardless, in flipping your hips and being able to run, keep balance is a very difficult thing to do. Flipping your hips, keeping balance and momentum is very difficult. So think about backpedaling, turning to run with the receiver. That's what I mean when I say flip your hips. And Christian Gonzalez, I mean, he does it as well as anybody I've ever seen do it in my life. And I'm like, damn, if that mother effer ain't a cornerback, I don't know what is. He can catch the football. This dude runs a 4.3. And I believe that's when he was first going into college. He was running a 4.3. He's standing at like 6'2", 200 and something pounds. He's your prototype corner. This is everything you want in a corner. He flips his hips well. He runs fast, and he's big. There's nothing else I want in a corner. Draft him. If that's who we're going to – but as far as our biggest hole, I would say defensive tackle. Because the only person outside of Christian Gonzalez I want is Jalen Carter. And I would trade up to get Jalen Carter. I don't give a shit. I would trade up to get Jalen Carter because I believe him, Chandler Jones, and Max Crosby on the defensive line would wreck shit. I would be so pumped. I don't know. I don't know. If we got Jalen Carter, I would have to do something live and run my freaking head through this goddamn monitor because I would be juiced. Okay. Shout out to Digital Prez, man. Y'all know what it is. Hey, Prez, your care package is on the way, brother. And shout out to Digital Prez, though, a new member of Redemption Brand. Appreciate you being part of the team, Digital Prez. Shout out to you, dude got fire content and he's helping me by being part of the team, man. So I appreciate you, Digital Prez. I want to give you a shout out. Y'all make sure to go follow Digital Prez on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everything, man, because the dude has fire content. His edits are crazy, and I appreciate you become part of the team, man. And I appreciate that you're willing to let me sponsor you and your content, brother. So thank you very much, Prez. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Make sure to go follow Raider Resistance on Instagram if you want to get the latest news as well, y'all. Make sure to go check that out. Let me catch up in the chat real quick because I do want to address this super big Raider. Okay, how do you pronounce that? Big Raider Drock says Carr's terrible. Okay, he's gonna come out throwing haymakers on this one. Carr's terrible. The Vikings had the worst defense in the NFL, and Kirk Cousins got them to a playoffs. I do agree we need defense bad. All love, bro. Okay. Yeah, shout out to you, man. Appreciate the super supporting the channel as well. Carr is terrible. Yeah, I mean, Carr, I don't know what it is with Carr. I feel like he did take a step back when Josh McDaniels came in. I don't know what the riffraff was. I don't have any details of what the hell was going on with the sidelines. Some people said after the Seattle game that Josh McDaniels looked pissed. I don't think that was the case. But as far as the Vikings, man, the Vikings barely skated by. And I remember talking to a coworker, and they was like, the Vikings are looking good, Bob. I'm like, man, watch, the Vikings are going to lose, bro. They're going to go to the playoffs and lose. They're not the truth. Kirk Cousins ain't going to get it done. And Kirk Cousins and Carr are like in that same kind of boat, in my opinion. And watch, the Vikings are going to get rid of Kirk Cousins if they're smart. So everything you said, I agree with, bro. All defense, baby. Shout out to you, Big Raider. Appreciate you dropping by, man. Thank you very much. Damn, bro. We got over 300. We got over 300 people in this mug. Let's see if we can get 300 likes. Let's see if we get 300 likes. I appreciate y'all being here, man. Hit that like button. Go raid that like button. Let's see what it is. Bro says, pause. How smooth he flips this is. Oh, man. Y'all crazy, man. I don't think like that, bro. I don't think like that. The Raider Room says, Jalen Carter is my dream. That's my dream pick too, man. If we could pick any player in this draft, it's Jalen Carter. And I just don't. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, man. Like, I wish, bro. I really do wish we can get Jalen Carter. I would rather get Jalen Carter. I can't even say that. I don't know. This one right here got me puzzled. Jalen Carter or CJ Stroud. Just hypothetically speaking, if y'all can get one person, if y'all could draft one person, any person in this draft, who would it be? Would it be Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Jalen Carter, or somebody else? Will Anderson? Who would it be? One person in this entire draft. Y'all drop it down in the comments right now. Who would be that one person y'all would draft in this one? D isn't as bad as you guys think. Richard Snyder says the Raiders' O was trash. So, Snyder, this is one thing I would say. I agree that the defense isn't as bad as people think. I 100% agree because I believe that the defense this past season has played better than we've seen in a long time, and especially the simple fact that, one, we got the most turnovers this past season that we've had in the last decade, I want to say, the most touchdowns for returns, right? So that means we had a knack for the ball and had, sniffing out the end zone on the defense. So I agree with you. The defense did play better than people give them credit for, but I still think the defense needs to be better. And if we just invest this season, we could have that defense that we've always wanted. As far as the offense, I don't think the offense is trash. I think it was poorly executed. And I think that could change very easily, especially going throughout an offseason. Gonzo, just not at 7. Yeah, I'm not a big fan at drafting a corner in top 10 picks. I'm not a big fan of that, honestly. I know they did it last year with Sauce Gardner, I believe. but I'm not the biggest fan of taking a corner. I'm more of like a defensive line. If I'm in the top 10, I'm thinking quarterback, defensive line. That's what I'm thinking. Quarterback, defensive line. Um, that's what I think when you have a top 10 pick. Carter is a game. Yeah, definitely. Dude's a game changer. Like one person, Jalen Carter, exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. What do you think of Kylie Ringo? Guy runs a 4.2 on a 20-yard dash. He runs a 4.2 on a 40-yard dash, you mean? So about a 40. As far as Kyler Ringo, I would say I need to watch more tape on Ringo because I'm not as high on him as a lot of other people are. I'm just not. I'm just not. I like Gonzo. I like Gonzo. I like Witherspoon. Witherspoon is physical, but he's not grabby. I like Witherspoon because he's physical but not very grabby. You talk about a guy in, I think it's Joey Porter Jr. And I didn't really feel like he had a very good technique. I didn't like Joey Porter's technique. I'll be straight up. I feel like he was too grabby, not physical in the right places. Didn't have great catch-up speed. Couldn't close that gap. I feel like he didn't have great catch-up speed. He does have size and he does have length, though. That's one thing I will give him. He was the best DB on that. He is the best DB on that Penn State defense as well. But one guy I do like is Emmanuel Forbes. Now, this guy is a Slim Reaper. For those who don't know, a Slim Reaper is a guy that's very skinny or just somebody. You know what I mean? I call females. I see a skinny female. I call her Slim Reaper too. Shit. But I like them thick. You know what I mean? That's neither here nor there. My point is that this dude's skinny, right? But the man has he has great ball skills. All right, this dude, I believe he led the FBS in interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. He had a few interceptions for return for a touchdown. He knows how to get to the ball. So I think I like Emmanuel Forbes. He reminds me of kind of like a Levi Wallace dude that played on the Bills. Kind of reminds me of a guy like that. So Emmanuel Forbes is my number 3 corner. That's my number 3 corner. So I got Gonzo, Witherspoon, and Emmanuel Forbes. I just don't like Forbes because he's super small. He's skinny. Dude's a Slim Reaper. 80s baby says Ringo Garbage got ate up against Ohio State and takes plays off. Oof, 80s baby. That's a very good analysis. I like that, especially when especially when someone's willing to analyze and pay attention enough to say, oh, that guy takes plays off. Because if you say he takes plays off, that means you watched every single freaking down. And that's a lot of college players. That's a lot of college players. And I was seeing that last night. I was watching film all last night, and I've seen that from a few guys as well, man. Shout out to Duke City in the building. What's good with you folks? Appreciate you being here. So Ringo is penalty every play. Oof. Mr. Nick says Forbes is the CB for. I like Forbes. I don't know if y'all heard of him, but the dude's pretty solid. He's just scary because he's small, so he's not going to be your tackler. I like Witherspoon. Haven't checked Gonzo out. You definitely got to go check out that man from Oregon. Y'all definitely got to do that. We got 2 first-round picks. I thought no, we don't. We only got 1 first-round pick, brother. We only got 1. Forbes is my CB1. Oh, shit. Okay. Forbes a playmaker? Most definitely. See, so I'm glad that a lot of people like Forbes, and it's just not me. I'm glad other people like Forbes. It's not me. What about linebacker in the first? So, like I said at the beginning of the video, or excuse me, of this live, I haven't watched linebacker film yet. I did check out Indiana's linebacker. I think it's Cam Jones. I did check him out. He got hurt this past season, so I don't know how he's going to test out or if he will. But pretty much I got to go check out my linebacker film, which I will be doing next. I will be doing that next, y'all. But, yo, I've been up here for 45 minutes, going on 50 minutes, y'all, and I wanted to make this a short one because, as we know, Derek Carr is in trade talks with the Saints. We're going to go ahead and close this out real quick with another iteration of what we open it up with just to give out some last-minute information that we gave out at the beginning of the show so some people could catch up. We were talking about the fact that Fowler tweeted out The fact that Fowler tweeted out that inquiring teams want to rework the deal with Derek Carr, but Derek Carr isn't looking to do that. So that right there may be a tough situation, working out Carr's deal when he doesn't want to in a trade. Then you go down and you say that a third round pick is what's being said that the Raiders want for Derek Carr. They want to get a third round pick. So if the Saints are willing to send that, more power to them. And to me, the most important bulletin on here was the simple fact that he says New Orleans believed to be the only team engaged to extent of visits as of now. So this is only as of right now, but this key word only is a key word. And I think it's very, very, very important that we focus in on that, because when you say the only team, man, that means nobody else, and we will have to cut him if the time does not come. Kevin Lurker drops his top 4 corners. He puts Witherspoon number 1. Not mad at that. I know a lot of people will have Witherspoon number 1. I got Gonzo number 1 and then Witherspoon 2. But you got Witherspoon 1, Gonzo 2, Emmanuel Forbes 3, and Deontay Banks. Let me put that down in my notes. I have not watched Deontay Banks. What's it called yet? Out of Maryland. I will have to check him out. 6'2", 205 pounds. Love to see those measurables. I like my corners with a little length, but right now it says he's running a 4.5. Deontay Banks, it says he's running a 4.5. I like my corners running at least a 4.4, a low 4.4. But also right here on the draft scout, it says he runs a low 4.32. So we're gonna have to see how Deontay Banks tests out. If Deontay Banks tests out very well, then he may be one of those guys. But I'll check him out. I was just watching Overshown last night. I was watching Texas defense film all last night. The Texas defensive tackles, let me know what you guys think, man. They got a couple of guys. I like 9'8", Omoro, I believe his name is, but that dude's not bad. But hey, enough messing around. We'll get to the draft talk here soon, man. The next live could be on the draft talk. Appreciate everybody who pulled up, that dropped the super chat, that became a member. Appreciate y'all being here today, man. Y'all know what it is. Go make sure to hit that like button. Hit the sub button if you want to see more videos like this. Make sure to check our Redemption brand, man. You know what I mean? We got the hats on there. Going to be dropping new gear soon. Going to restock the hoodies, I believe, in 2 weeks. Been taking forever to get those things in, but we will be restocking the hoodies. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Until next time, y'all, ready to take.